I wake to the taste of copper in my mouth, and the smell of burning sage. My grandmother stands over me, her weathered hands still glowing faint silver from whatever spell she just cast. She looks older than yesterday, the lines around her eyes deeper. "It's happening," she says. "The binding is breaking." I don't need to ask what binding. For 3 generations, our family has kept the rift stone sealed, preventing the shadow creatures from crossing into our world. My mother died maintaining it. My grandmother has given her entire life to it. Now it's supposed to be my turn, except I've spent 20 years failing every magical test she's given me. "I can't do this," I tell her, sitting up on my narrow bed. "You know I can't." "You'll have to." She moves to the window, pulling back the curtain. Dawn light spills across our small cottage, illuminating the jars of herbs and crystals lining every surface. I felt it crack in my sleep. We have maybe 3 days before it shatters completely. 3 days to learn what I haven't managed in 20 years. 3 days before shadow creatures pour through and destroy everything within 100 miles. I press my palms against my eyes, fighting down panic. "There's another option," she says quietly, "the Thornwood Academy." I lower my hands. "The Academy doesn't accept people like us. We're hedge witches, Gran. They only take noble families. They take anyone who can pass their entrance trial." She turns to face me, and I see fear in her expression for the first time in my life. "And they have the Celestial Archive. Ancient texts our family lost centuries ago. If there's another way to seal the rift, it would be there. And if I fail the trial?" She doesn't answer, which is answer enough. 2 days later, I stand before iron gates taller than any tree I've ever seen. The Thornwood Academy rises beyond them. All silver spires and impossible architecture that seems to shift when I'm not looking directly at it. Students in deep blue robes drift across manicured lawns, their conversations punctuated by casual displays of magic that would exhaust me for days. I'm wearing my only good dress, my grandmother's silver pendant, hidden beneath the collar. It's a protection charm, though against what I'm not sure. Failure, maybe, or success that costs too much. Name? The guard at the gate barely glances at me. Ilara Thorn. He consults a ledger that floats in the air before him. "You're not on the list. I'm here for the entrance trial. I was told anyone could attempt it." His expression shifts to something between pity and amusement. "The trial is in 1 hour. Through the gates, follow the blue path to the proving grounds. Try not to die." The blue path winds through gardens, that smell of jasmine and something sharper, something that makes my teeth ache. Other trial takers walk ahead of me. Their clothes fine, their bearing confident. I catch fragments of their conversation. "Father says the trial changes each year," a tall boy with golden hair says to his companion. "Last year it was combat focused. The year before, illusion magic. Whatever it is, it won't be a problem." The girl beside him laughs in. Light dances around her fingertips without conscious effort. The casual display makes my stomach ache. The proving grounds is a circular arena, carved from white stone. Perhaps 60 people wait inside, ranging from teenagers to adults twice my age. I take a position near the edge, trying to be invisible. A woman materializes in the center of the arena. She doesn't walk in, or fly down. One moment the space is empty, the next she stands there, robes the color of midnight, silver stars embroidered across the fabric. "I am Instructor Volley," she announces, her voice carrying effortlessly across the space. "Today's trial will test your fundamental understanding of magical resonance. You will each face a construct designed to match and counter your specific magical signature. Defeat it, or survive for 5 minutes, and you pass. Fail, and you leave. Are there any questions?" No one speaks. I wouldn't know what to ask anyway. "Excellent. We begin." She gestures, and the ground beneath the first candidate ripples. A shape rises from the stone, humanoid but wrong, its body composed of shadow and crackling energy. The candidate throws a bolt of fire at it. The construct absorbs the flames and grows larger. I watch candidate after candidate face their constructs. Most pass, though not all. The pattern becomes clear. Direct magical attacks feed the constructs. The successful candidates use technique, strategy, finding ways to outmaneuver or redirect their opponent's energy, rather than overwhelming them with power. This should make me feel better. I have no power to overwhelm anything with. But as I watch a girl who can barely be 16, create an intricate trap of light and force that tangles her construct until it dissipates, I realize technique requires training I've never had. Ilara Thorn, my name echoes across the arena. I step forward on legs that feel disconnected from my body. The other trial takers watch with varying degrees of interest. The golden-haired boy whispers something to his companion. They both smirk. The ground ripples beneath me. My construct rises, and I stop breathing. It's beautiful, terrible and beautiful. Made of crystalline shadows that catch the light and throw it back in colors. I don't have names for. It moves with fluid grace, and I can feel it already analyzing me, searching for my magical signature to counter. The problem is, I'm not sure I have one. I spent 20 years failing to produce reliable magic. My grandmother's spells work through tools and rituals, careful preparation and precise components. When I try to simply will magic into being like these academy students do, nothing happens. Or worse, something happens that I didn't intend and can't control. The construct strikes. I dive sideways, feeling the displacement of air where its crystalline fist passes. I roll to my feet, my dress already dirty and torn. The construct follows, patient and relentless. I can't fight this thing with magic I don't have. I can't outmaneuver it for 5 minutes. I need to think like my grandmother thinks. Magic isn't just about power, it's about understanding, about knowing the true names of things, and the connections between them. The construct strikes again. This time, instead of dodging, I step into its reach and press my palm against its chest. The contact burns, cold and electric, but I hold on. I close my eyes and stop trying to use magic. Instead, I just listen. Magic has a sound beneath the sound. A resonance. My grandmother taught me that, though I never fully understood. But now with this construct trying to unmake me, I hear it. A frequency, high and pure. And beneath it, the counter frequency is designed to produce, meant to cancel out whatever magic I throw at it. I don't throw magic. I hum. It's barely conscious, this sound that rises from my throat. I match the construct's frequency, not countering it, but joining with it. For a moment nothing happens. Then the construct begins to vibrate. Cracks sprint across its crystalline surface, glowing from within. Fascinating, I hear Instructor Volley say, but her voice comes from very far away. The construct's frequency shifts, trying to counter mine now, but I stiffed with it, staying in harmony. I'm not fighting it, I'm singing with it, and the resonance builds and builds until the construct shatters, not violently, but like a soap bubble popping. One moment it's there, and next it's gone, leaving only fading motes of light that drift toward the ground like snow. I collapse to my knees, shaking. My throat feels raw, my head pounds, but I'm alive, and according to the stunned silence filling the arena, I've apparently passed. Instructor Viley approaches me. Up close, her eyes are the color of storm clouds, and they study me with an intensity that makes me want to hide. "What is your name?" she asks, though she must already know. "Ilara Thorn." "Who trained you?" "Ilara Thorn." "My grandmother. She's a hedge witch." Something flickers across Vila's expression. Recognition maybe, or concern. "And she taught you resonance harmony." "She taught me to listen." Vila extends a hand to help me up. Her grip is strong, her skin warm. "Welcome to Thornwood Academy. Report to the registrar's office tomorrow morning. For now, rest. You look like you're about to collapse." She's not wrong, but as I stumble toward the exit, I catch sight of the golden-haired boy. He's no longer smirking. He's staring at me with an expression I can't quite read. Curiosity maybe, or calculation. "That was incredible," someone says beside me. I turn to find a girl about my age. Her hair, a mass of dark curls, her smile genuine. I've never seen anyone defeat a construct through harmony before. "I'm Kira." "Ilara." "I know." Everyone knows now. She falls into step beside me as we leave the arena. "Fair warning, you just made yourself very interesting to people you probably don't want to be interesting to." "What do you mean?" She glances over her shoulder, then lowers her voice. "That technique you used? It's from the old magic. The kind that got banned 200 years ago because it was too dangerous. The Academy still teaches around it, but no one actually uses it. Until you, apparently." My grandmother's pendant feels heavy against my chest. Old magic. The Riftstone is old magic too. Maybe that's why she sent me here. Not just to find information, but because something in our family's hedge witch tradition connects to what the Academy considers forbidden. I was just trying not to die. "Well, you succeeded, but now everyone's going to be watching you. Especially him." She nods toward a figure standing in the shadow of a colonnade. I can't make out details, but I feel the weight of his attention. "Who is that?" "Kalen Ashcroft. He's a 4th year, specializes in theoretical magic. Rumor is, he's been researching the old traditions, trying to understand why they were really banned." And now you've just demonstrated something that's supposed to be impossible. The figure moves deeper into shadow and disappears. I shiver, despite the warm afternoon sun. That night, in a dormitory room that's bigger than my entire cottage back home, I pull out the letter my grandmother pressed into my hands before I left. I'd been too afraid to open it until now. The wax seal breaks easily. Inside, her handwriting, cramped and urgent. Ilara, if you're reading this, you passed the trial. I knew you would, though I suspect you don't believe it yet. Listen carefully. The wriststone is not what I told you it was. It is not a seal. It is a prison. And the thing imprisoned inside it is not a horde of shadow creatures, but a single entity. Your great-great-grandmother bound it there, and it has been whispering to our family ever since, slowly breaking our magic, making us weaker with each generation. I am the last who can hear it clearly. You are the first in 3 generations who it cannot touch. This is why your magic works differently. This is why I sent you to the academy. You must find a way to destroy it, not repair it. The Celestial Archive will tell you how. Trust no one completely, but trust your instincts. And if a boy named Kalen Ashcroft seeks you out, listen to what he has to say. His family bound the entity originally. He may be your only ally in what's coming. Be brave, my darling girl. You are stronger than you know. I read the letter 3 times, each read making my hands shake harder. Everything I thought I knew is wrong. The family duty I've been dreading isn't my duty at all. It's a lie 3 generations deep, and now I'm supposed to undo it. A knock at my door makes me jump. I shove the letter under my pillow and open the door to find the golden-haired boy from the trial standing in the hallway. Ilara Thorne, he says, his voice smooth and careful. I'm Marcus Sylvan. I wanted to apologize for my behavior earlier. What you did in the trial was remarkable. Thank you. I keep the door half closed, uncertain. I also wanted to warn you. You've attracted attention, the kind that can be dorrance if you're not careful. He leans against the doorframe, casual but intent. I'd like to help you navigate your first weeks here, show you which professors to impress, which students to avoid. Consider it a peace offering. Everything about this feels wrong, but I can't pinpoint why. That's kind of you, but I'm sure I'll manage. His smile doesn't waver, but something shifts in his eyes. Of course, but if you change your mind, you know where to find me. Welcome to Thornwood, Ilara. I think you're going to find it very educational. He leaves and I close the door, my heart pounding. I'm missing something. Some game I don't know the rules to. My grandmother said to trust no one completely. She didn't say it would be this hard to figure out who to trust, even a little. Sleep doesn't come easily. When it does, I dream of crystalline shadows, and a voice I can barely hear, whispering from somewhere deep and dark and far away, calling my name. I wake to someone shaking my shoulder. For a confused moment, I think it's my grandmother. But when I open my eyes, Kira stands over me, her expression urgent. Get dressed, quickly. She tosses my academy robes onto the bed. They arrived yesterday, deep blue like all the others, but the silver threading along the collar marks me as first year. There's someone you need to meet. It's barely dawn. I sit up, rubbing sleep from my eyes. Through the window, the sky holds that gray-purple quality of early morning. I know, that's the point. Come on. 5 minutes later, we're hurrying through corridors I don't recognize. The academy is massive. A sprawling maze of buildings connected by covered walkways and bridges that span impossible distances. Kira moves with the confidence of someone who knows every shortcut. Where are we going, I ask, struggling to keep up. The restricted section of the library. Well, near it anyway. There's a reading room that technically isn't off limits, but most students don't know it exists. We descend a spiral staircase that seems to go down forever. The air grows cooler, and I taste something metallic on my tongue. Old magic. It saturates these lower levels, making my skin prickle with awareness. The reading room is small and circular, lit by floating orbs that cast a warm golden light. Books line the walls, their spines unmarked, and sitting at the central table, reading a tome so old the pages look like they might crumble at a touch, is the figure from yesterday. Kalen Ashcroft. He looks up as we enter. In the better light, I can see he's perhaps 25, with dark hair that falls across his forehead and eyes the color of amber. There's something sharp about his features, like he's been carved from stone rather than born of flesh. You brought her, he says to Kira. His voice is deeper than I expected, with a roughness that suggests too many late nights and not enough sleep. As promised, Kira gestures for me to sit. Ilara, this is Kalen. Kalen, Ilara. Now both of you talk, because I'm going to get breakfast before someone notices we're all missing. She leaves before I can protest. Kaylin studies me with the same intensity Instructor Vial showed yesterday. I resist the urge to squirm in my chair. Your grandmother wrote to me 3 weeks ago, he says finally. She said you'd be coming to the academy, that you were our best chance at fixing a mistake my family made 4 generations back. The entity in the riftstone. His eyebrows rise. She told you. She left me a letter. I pull it from my robe pocket. I've been carrying it with me, afraid to leave it anywhere. Someone might find it. She said your family bound it originally. My great-great-grandfather, yes. Though the official records say he died heroically, sealing away a horde of shadow creatures. Kaylin's expression turns bitter. The truth is somewhat less noble. He summoned something he couldn't control. A creature from beyond the veil, drawn by his ambition and his curiosity about forbidden magic. When he realized what he'd done, he bound it in desperation. His ancestor helped him, using her family's gift for seals and wards. But it's breaking free. It's been breaking free for 100 years. Slowly, carefully. Each generation of your family has felt its influence, their magic corrupted by proximity to something that should never have existed in our world. He closes the ancient book before him with care. And now your grandmother tells me you're immune to its influence, that your magic works through harmony rather than force. I remember the construct shattering like glass, the way my voice found its frequency and joined with it. I don't understand how that helps, because the entity is discordant. It's a creature of the veil, where the laws of magic work differently. Here it's constantly fighting against the fundamental resonance of our reality. Your great-great-grandmother's seal worked by creating a sympathetic frequency that held it in place, but maintaining that frequency required constant power. Power that's been draining your family dry. So how do I destroy it? Kaylin leans back in his chair, and for the first time I see exhaustion in his features. That's what I've been trying to figure out for 3 years. The texts that describe how to destroy such a creature are in the Celestial Archive, which is forbidden to students, locked behind wards, that would kill anyone unauthorized who tries to enter. Then how we get in? We don't. But there's someone who can. Someone who has legitimate access and reason to research old bindings. He pauses. Instructor Vial. The name sends a chill through me. She's involved in this. She doesn't know she is. Not yet. But she's one of the Academy's foremost experts on ancient seals and prison magic. If anyone can access the information we need without raising suspicion, it's her. The problem is convincing her to help without revealing too much too quickly. The Academy has rules about students pursuing dangerous research. If we're not careful, they'll shut us down before we've even started. I think about Instructor Vial's stormcloud eyes, the way she looked at me after I destroyed the construct. She recognized what I did, called it resonance harmony. Because it is. It's also supposed to be impossible for anyone without decades of training in the old disciplines. Kaylin leans forward, elbows on the table. You did instinctively what takes most practitioners years to learn. That's going to make you valuable. And valuable means dangerous. There are people at this academy who would very much like to understand how the old magic works. People who don't care about the reasons it was banned. Marcus Sylvain. Kaylin's expression darkens. He's already approached you. Last night. Offered to help me navigate the academy. He's the worst of them. His family has been trying to resurrect the old houses of power for years. They see the ban on old magic as a political maneuver, rather than a necessary safeguard. He runs a hand through his hair. Frustrated. Stay away from him if you can. And if you can't, tell him nothing about your family, or what you're really researching. The weight of it all settles on my shoulders like a physical thing. 3 days ago, I was failing at basic spell work in my grandmother's cottage. Now I'm caught in something that spans generations, with players I don't understand, and stakes I can barely comprehend. I don't know if I can do this, I say quietly. I barely know how to use magic. I certainly don't know how to play political games, or convince instructors to help with forbidden research. Keelan's expression softens slightly. You don't have to do it alone. I've been preparing for this for years. Kira's brilliant at gathering information without being noticed, and despite what the trial made it look like, you're more capable than you think. I got lucky. No. You trusted your instincts. That's different. He stands gathering the ancient book. Your first class is Fundamental Theory with Professor Marwick. He's safe. Focused purely on academic questions. No political entanglements. After that, you have Practical Applications with Instructor Vial. That's where things get interesting. What do you mean? She's going to test you. Push you to see what you can really do. How you respond will determine whether she sees you as a curiosity or a potential ally. He pauses at the door. One more thing. The entity your family has been guarding. It's getting stronger. The cracks in the seal aren't just metaphorical. 2 nights ago, something got through. A small manifestation. Barely corporeal, but enough to kill 3 livestock in the villages near the Riftstone. Your grandmother is holding it together through sheer will, and the last reserves of her power. You have perhaps 2 weeks before it breaks completely. The information hits me like a blow. 2 weeks, not months to learn and research and plan. 2 weeks before everything I love is destroyed. Then we'd better get started, I managed to say. Fundamental theory passes in a blur. Professor Marwick is elderly and kind. His lecture covering the basic principles of magical resonance that I apparently already understand on an instinctive level. The other students take notes frantically. I spend the time trying not to think about shadow creatures and failing seals, and the grandmother I left behind to face something that's killing her by inches. Practical Applications is held in a training arena, similar to the proving grounds. Instructor Vile stands at the center, her midnight robes somehow remaining pristine, despite the sand and dust of the arena floor. Today we begin practical work in magical manifestation, she announces as the class assembles around her. About 20 students, all first years, all looking nervous. You will each demonstrate your primary magical affinity. The exercise is simple. Create a manifestation of your power that can hold stable form for 30 seconds. Begin. Around me, students step forward one by one. Fire blues in cupped hands. Water forms into spiraling shapes. One girl creates an illusion, so convincing I can smell the roses she's conjured. They're all impressive, all showing the kind of raw talent that got them accepted to the academy. My turn comes. I step into the center of the arena, acutely aware of Instructor Vile's attention. I have no idea what my affinity is. I've never been able to manifest anything consistently. Whenever you're ready, Volley says. I close my eyes and try to find that place I touched during the trial. The listening place where magic is sound and resonance, and harmony. I hear the arena around me, the breath of other students, the whisper of wind through the open arches, the deep thrum of the Academy's foundation wards. All of it has a frequency. I open my mouth and sing a single note. It's not a beautiful note. My voice is untrained, rough from yesterday's exertion, but it's true. It resonates with something fundamental in the space around me, and as I hold it, light begins to gather in the air before me. Not fire or water or illusion, just light, pure and clear, coalescing into a form that shifts and changes as I adjust my tone. It responds to the music in my voice, becoming whatever shape the sound suggests. A bird, a flower, a cascade of stars. I hold the note for 30 seconds, then 40, then a full minute before I let it fade. The light dissipates slowly, like dawn retreating before full day. Silence fills the arena. Every student is staring at me. Instructor Vile's expression is unreadable. Fascinating, she says finally. That was not elemental magic, not illusion, not any of the standard affinities. She circles me slowly, studying. That was pure resonance manifestation, the old way of shaping magic through harmony with the world's fundamental frequency. Is that bad? I ask because I can't read her tone. It's rare. So rare that I've only seen it described in text written before the schism. She stops in front of me. Where did you learn this technique? I remember Kaylin's warning. How much to reveal? My grandmother. She taught me to listen to magic rather than command it. Your grandmother is a hedge witch, you said. Yes. Interesting. The old families claimed that all magic began as resonance work, that the elemental affinities came later, as magic became codified and structured. Most modern scholars dismiss this as superstition. Vai's eyes bore into mine. But you just demonstrated that resonance magic not only exists, but can be performed by someone with minimal formal training. That challenges several centuries of magical theory. I don't know what to say to that. Around us, the other students have begun whispering among themselves. We will speak more of this later, Vala says. For now, continue with your demonstrations. The rest of the class passes without incident, though I feel eyes on me constantly. When we're dismissed, I try to slip away quickly, but Viley's voice stops me. Miss Thorne, a moment. I turn back. The arena is empty now, except for us. Via gestures for me to approach. I'm going to be direct with you, she says. What you can do is dangerous, not because the magic itself is harmful, but because there are people who would use you to unlock knowledge that was sealed away for good reason. Do you understand? Yes, instructor. I don't think you do. Not fully. She sighs, and suddenly she looks tired. 20 years ago, I had a student much like you. Talented. Unique. He believed he could master the old magic without falling prey to its corrupting influence. He was wrong, and when he fell, he took 17 people with him. A chill runs down my spine. What happened to him? He's in a warded cell beneath the academy. What's left of him? The old magic consumed him from the inside out. Her expression hardens. I'm telling you this not to frighten you, but to make you understand. Whatever gift you have, it comes with a price. Be very careful how you use it, and more importantly, who you trust with it. She walks away, leaving me standing alone in the empty arena with my heart pounding, and my grandmother's warning echoing in my mind. Trust no one completely, but I'm running out of time to figure out who to trust even a little. That evening, I find Salen in the same reading room. This time, Kira is with him, along with a stack of books that reaches almost to her chin. I've been going through the public archives, she says without preamble, looking for any references to creatures from beyond the veil that were bound rather than banished. There are 7 documented cases in the last 500 years. 6 of them ended badly. Define badly, I say, sinking into a chair. 3 resulted in the death of everyone within a mile radius when the bindings failed. 2 required intervention from the Magisterium Council, which means dozens of mages working in concert to contain the breach. 1 simply vanished from the records entirely, which is arguably more concerning than the others. Kalen spreads a map across the table. It shows the region around the Riftstone, marked with notes in his cramped handwriting. The successful binding is the one your ancestor and mine created, but success is relative. It's holding, but barely, and the cost has been generational trauma to your family's magical abilities. I study the map. Small villages dot the landscape around the Riftstone, each one marked with population numbers. Hundreds of people who have no idea what's sleeping beneath their feet. Instructor Vile pulled me aside after class, I say. She warned me about the old magic, said it consumed a student 20 years ago. Kalen goes very still. She told you about Theron Blackwood. She didn't give a name. Theron was brilliant. 4th year when I was 1st year. He believed the ban on old magic was holding back significant advances in magical theory, started experimenting with resonance harmonics, and veil manipulation. Kalen's voice is carefully neutral, but I hear the pain underneath. He was my mentor, taught me everything I know about pre-schism magic. And then one night he tried to open a controlled veil breach to study what lay beyond. The thing that came true killed him, and 16 others before the instructors could contain it. I'm sorry, I say quietly. Don't be sorry, be careful. Theron was 10 times the mage you or I will ever be, and he still failed. He looks up at me, amber eyes intense. The old magic isn't just powerful, it's alive in a way modern magic isn't. It has intent, will, and if you're not strong enough it will use you, rather than the other way around. Kira clears her throat. On that cheerful note, I have some potentially good news. There's a symposium in 3 days, visiting scholars from across the region coming to present research. One of them is Magister Corvian, who wrote the definitive text on ancient bindings and seals. If we can get him interested in your situation, he might be able to access the Celestial Archive on your behalf. How do we get him interested? I ask. You demonstrate what you can do, publicly, in a way that's impressive but not threatening. Kira grins. Lucky for us, the symposium always includes a demonstration component. Students can volunteer to showcase innovative magical techniques. That seems risky, I say. Instructor Vale just told me to be careful who I trust with this ability. It is risky, Kalen agrees, but we're running out of time and options. If we can get Corvian's attention, we might be able to get what we need from the archive without breaking any rules, or raising suspicion. If we can't, he trails off, but the implication is clear. We'll have to break the rules anyway, and probably get caught doing it. I'll do it, I say, though my stomach twists with anxiety. What do I need to prepare? Over the next 3 days, I barely sleep. Kalen coaches me on resonance theory, helping me understand intellectually what I've been doing by instinct. Kira drills me on academy politics, and how to present myself to visiting scholars, and in between, I attend classes, trying to maintain the appearance of a normal first-year student. It's exhausting. My control over the resonance magic is unpredictable. Sometimes, I can call light with barely a whisper. Other times I strain until my throat is raw, and nothing happens. Kalen says it's because I'm trying too hard, thinking instead of feeling, but that advice is maddeningly unhelpful. On the 3rd night, I dream again of the voice. It's clearer now, almost comprehensible. It knows my name. It knows I'm coming for it, and it wants me to know that it's been waiting. I wait gasping, my grandmother's pendant burning cold against my chest. The The protection charm is working overtime, which means the entity is reaching for me, even here, days away from the Rift Stone. 2 weeks, Kaylin said. I wonder if we even have that long. The symposium is held in the Grand Hall, a soaring space of marble columns and vaulted ceilings that amplify every sound. Visiting scholars in formal robes mingle with Academy instructors and advanced students. I spot Instructor Vielle, speaking with an elderly man, whose robes shimmer with what looks like actual starlight. That must be Magister Corvian. Nervous, Kira appears at my elbow, carrying 2 glasses of something that smells like apples and cinnamon. Terrified, I admit, accepting the glass. Good, channel that into your performance. She surveys the crowd. Corvian is here, as planned. Valet is with him, which is interesting. She might be vouching for you already, or warning him away from me. Either way, you've got his attention. That's step 1. She nods toward the far side of the hall, where Marcus Sylvan stands with a group of well-dressed students. Step 2 is making sure certain people don't interfere. As if sensing our attention, Marcus looks up. Our eyes meet across the crowded hall. He smiles and raises his glass in a small salute. The gesture feels like a threat. Ignore him, Kaylin says, materializing on my other side. He's cleaned up for the symposium, his usual research rumpled appearance replaced by formal robes that actually fit properly. You're third in the demonstration order. The first 2 are showing advanced elemental work. Impressive but standard. What you're going to do is something none of them have seen before. A bell chimes, calling everyone to attention. The demonstrations begin. The first student creates a storm in miniature, complete with lightning and rain that evaporates before it touches the ground. The audience applauds politely. The second student weaves fire and ice together into intricate dancing patterns. The 2 elements never quite touching, but moving in perfect synchronization. The applause is warmer this time. Then it's my turn. I walk to the center of the hall on legs that feel like water. The crowd falls silent, watching. I see Instructor Volley's storm-cloud eyes, Magister Corvian's interested expression, Marcus Sylvain's calculating smile. I close my eyes and listen. The Grand Hall has its own frequency, deep and resonant. The marble columns sing in a register almost too low to perceive. The vaulted ceiling catches and amplifies certain tones. Even the people gathered here have their own subtle harmonics, the combined rhythm of breath and heartbeat and life. I begin to hum. It starts soft, almost inaudible. I'm finding the hall's fundamental note, the frequency at which the space itself wants to vibrate. When I find it, I feel it click into place like a key in a lock. I open my mouth and sing. The note that emerges isn't loud, but it fills the entire space. The marble columns begin to glow faintly, responding to the resonance. The vaulted ceiling catches the sound and throws it back, transformed, creating harmonics that layer over my voice. Light blues in the air around me, not conjured or manifested in the traditional sense, but called forth from the intersection of sound and space and magic. It swirls and dances, forming patterns that echo the architecture of the hall itself. Columns of light rising to meet arches of luminescence, all of it pulsing in time with my voice. I hold the note, building it slowly. The light grows brighter, the harmonics more complex. I can feel the magic of everyone in the room resonating with what I'm creating, their own power responding to the frequency I'd established. For a moment, the entire grand hall becomes a single instrument, and I'm playing it. Then I let the note fade. The light dissipates slowly, the columns returning to simple marble, the ceiling to ordinary stone. But for a few seconds after my voice stops, the hall continues to ring with the echo of what I created. Silence, complete and total. Then Magister Corvian begins to clap. It's slow, measured, but unmistakably genuine. Others join in, the applause building until it fills the hall, almost as completely as my song did. I open my eyes, suddenly exhausted. My throat burns, my head pounds, but I did it. I demonstrated resonance magic without losing control, without revealing too much, without extraordinary. Magister Corvian approaches, the crowd parting before him. Up close, I can see his robes aren't embroidered with stars, but actually contain them, tiny points of light moving in slow orbits across the fabric. Young lady, what you just demonstrated was pure harmonic resonance work. I haven't seen the technique performed at that level in 30 years. Thank you, Magister. My voice comes out hoarse. Who trained you? That's not a skill one picks up from standard academy curriculum. I feel the weight of attention on me. Instructor Vielle watching. Marcus Sylvain listening from the crowd. Kaylin and Kira trying to look casual near the refreshment table. My grandmother, I say. She's a practitioner of the old ways. Hedge witch traditions passed down through our family. Fascinating. I'd very much like to speak with you more about this. The theoretical implications alone. He trails off, eyes distant. Then he focuses on me again. Are you familiar with the Celestial Archive? My heart skips. I know it exists, that it contains the Academy's rarest texts. It contains considerably more than that, including the most complete collection of pre-schism magical theory in existence. He strokes his beard, thoughtful. I'm scheduled to spend tomorrow reviewing certain restricted materials there. Would you be interested in joining me? I think you might find the resonance theory texts particularly illuminating. I can barely believe what I'm hearing. He's offering me exactly what I need, gift-wrapped and legitimate. I would be honored, Magister. Excellent. Report to the archive entrance at dawn, and bring questions. I suspect you have many. He nods to Instructor Viley, who has moved closer. I trust you have no objections, Instructor. The girl's talent deserves proper guidance. Volley studies me for a long moment. I can't read her expression. Finally, she nods. None. But I would like to accompany you if you don't mind. Miss Thorne is my student after all. Of course. Of course. The more minds engaged with this fascinating work, the better. Corvian smiles and moves away, already engaged in conversation with another scholar. Volley steps closer, lowering her voice. That was either very brave or very foolish. Possibly both. I need to understand what I can do, I say quietly, and I'm running out of time. Her eyes narrow. What does that mean? I realize my mistake immediately. I said too much. But before I can deflect, Marcus Sylvan appears at my elbow. This Thorne, that was truly remarkable, he says smoothly. I'd love to discuss your technique sometime. Perhaps over dinner? She's occupied, Kalen says suddenly there. His voice is cold, both tonight and for the foreseeable future. Marcus's smile doesn't waver. I wasn't aware you two were acquainted, Ashcroft. How interesting. His gaze moves between us, calculating. Two students from families with connections to the old binding magic, both suddenly interested in a first year with unique talents. I'm sure that's purely coincidental. The temperature in the immediate area seems to drop. Ball's expression has gone flat and dangerous. What do you know about old binding magic, Mr. Sylvine? She asks, her voice quiet. Only what everyone knows, Instructor. That certain families bear the burden of maintaining ancient seals. That these seals sometimes fail. And that when they do, it's often catastrophic. He turns his attention back to me. I'm simply concerned for Miss Thorne's well-being. She seems to have attracted attention from people who might not have her best interests at heart. Noted, Valley says. Now unless you have further business here, I suggest you return to your friends. I need to speak with Miss Thorne. Privately. Marcus bows slightly, that infuriating smile still in place. Of course, Instructor. Miss Thorne, I look forward to our next conversation. He melts back into the crowd. Valley turns to me and Kalen. My office. Both of you. Now. We follow her through corridors that grow progressively quieter as we leave the symposium behind. Her office is on the third floor of the East Wing, a circular room lined with books, and marked by a large window overlooking the Academy grounds. She gestures for us to sit, then wards the door with a gesture that makes the air shimmer. Talk, she says, and I mean everything. What you're really doing here, what Ashcroft is helping you with, and what in the name of the founders Marcus Sylvain thinks he knows about binding magic. I look at Kalen. He nods slightly. We're out of options here. Valley already suspects, and if we lie now we lose any chance of her help. So I tell her, about the Riftstone, about the entity my family has been guarding for generations, about the seal failing, and my grandmother burning herself out trying to hold it, about the 2 weeks we have before everything falls apart. When I finish, Valley is silent for a long moment. Your grandmother is Mara Thorne, she says finally. You know her? I knew of her. 30 years ago, when I was first researching ancient seals, her name came up repeatedly in reference texts. She was considered one of the finest seal workers of her generation, though she worked outside the official magical community. Volley moves to her window, looking out into the darkness. I never knew why she isolated herself. Now I understand. She was guarding something. Can you help us? Kalen asks. Viley doesn't answer immediately. When she turns back to us, her expression is troubled. 20 years ago, I watched my brightest student destroy himself trying to master the old magic. I swore I would never allow another student to walk that path. She pauses. But the situation you're describing is different. This isn't about ambition or curiosity. This is about preventing a catastrophe. So you'll help? I ask, not daring to hope. I'll help, but on my terms. Tomorrow when we go to the archive with Corvian, We find what we need to understand this entity. We research. We plan. We do not act hastily. That above all, we do not attempt to confront this thing without proper preparation and support. Her gaze hardens. Am I understood? Yes, instructor, we both say. Good, now go, get some rest. Tomorrow is going to be challenging. She waves toward the door, the words dissolving at her gesture. We're halfway to the door when she speaks again. Miss Thorne, what you did tonight in the Grand Hall, that was beautiful. But beauty and magic can be deceiving. The most dangerous spells are often the most elegant. Remember that. I nod, not trusting myself to speak, and leave. In the corridor, outside, Kaylin lets out a long breath. That went better than I expected. She knows we're hiding things. Of course she does. She's one of the best magical theorists alive. But she's also pragmatic. She knows we need her expertise. He starts walking, and I fall into step beside him. What worries me is Marcus. What could he possibly want with this? The same thing his family always wants. Power. Recognition. If he thinks he can solve the Riftstone problem publicly, make himself a hero, he'll try. Kaylin's expression is grim, and he won't care if you get hurt in the process. We part ways at the dormitory entrance. As I climb the stairs to my room, exhaustion hits me like a physical wave. I've been running on adrenaline for days, and it's finally catching up. My room is dark and quiet. I light a candle with shaking hands, too tired even to use magic. The flame casts dancing shadows on the walls. I'm pulling off my boots when I notice the envelope on my desk. Plain parchment, sealed with black wax. No marking or crest. I open it with growing unease. Inside, a single sentence. In elegant handwriting. The entity knows you're coming. It has been preparing. Be careful who you trust, little songbird. The Riftstone has more guardians than you know. No signature. No indication of who sent it. I read it 3 times. My heart pounding. Someone knows what I'm planning. Someone is watching. And they're calling me Songbird. A name no one has used. A name that makes me think of my grandmother's stories. Of warnings wrapped in lullabies. Of secrets passed down through generations. I burn the letter in my candle flame, watching the paper curl and blacken. But the words remain, burned into my memory. The entity knows I'm coming. And somewhere in this academy, someone is either trying to help me, or ensure I fail. I just don't know which.